challenging and inspiring. I know this to be true because my relationship with God became stronger in faith-based environments where I was constantly living in a faith community at my Catholic high school. I felt the effects immediately. I was inspired and so sure that this was where I fit in. After coming to college, I found my place again in the wonderful faith community of Cabrini College called campus ministry. There, I made friends who share a similar faith to my own, which I can feel strengthens my faith even more so, and I am extremely thankful for these people in my life. My friends of faith challenged me to open new doors I had not thought to open, and help me recognize how I can become a better woman of faith. With these friends, I know that together we have a purpose, and together we are growing stronger in faith as we support each other through our times of both doubt and success. We are constant reminders to one another of our dedication to our faith, and so it is very easy to take on the journey of the world with each other. I am still thankful for my more secular friends, because though we may not share the same views on belief and cannot connect on that level, we can respect one another and grow through our differences. For example, a friend who identifies as an atheist has always appreciated my input, advice, and presence in her life, because I help her view her life at a different angle. Similar to this, she provides a different angle to my life as well, and so we create a different balance of sorts than what I might find in my friends of faith. Also, spending time with my secular friends is a constant reminder of who I am and why I choose the life I live, because we do live different lifestyles, and from time to time, I must step back and recognize that I do not wish to participate in everything these friends are doing. This helps me reflect further as a woman of faith and sends me different challenges, therefore preparing me for what I might find myself facing in the future. On another note, I find that others I meet, especially those in my college life, are not so easy to build relationships with. I have noticed that, though they say they respect my faith, they find me intimidating or are unable to relate to me. What is interesting is that sometimes I run into people who live very different lives from my own, but act what they perceive to be as better when they are around me. Purposefully, I think, possibly and most probably out of fear that I will judge their lifestyle and compare it to mine, which is never the case. It's almost a natural response, as if they have to put on their Sunday best to prove they are good to a faithful woman. I have also experienced the opposite, where people who struggle with their faith or have none feel comfortable being who they are around me, because they know I do not judge how they choose to live, and because I support them in all ways I can, including spirituality if they are open to it. I have learned that no matter where I go, people will recognize me for my spirituality. The people I meet will either choose to hide who they are because of that, or open up to me, almost in hopes I will change their mind about faith. One relationship with someone I built my sophomore year of college was particularly more difficult than others. He considered himself an atheist at the time, and was clearly carrying a large cross in his life due to family struggles, as well as mental and health issues as well. He was failing his classes because he spent more time partying and sleeping than going to class or doing schoolwork. To an outsider, he may have looked very happy, that he had many friends and people who cared about him, and that he was having a lot of fun. But when he opened up to me, I realized how wrong this outside viewpoint was. He told me he felt alone and was really struggling with the burden he carried and the stress of dealing with his health. He told me he did not have many close friends that he was comfortable with, especially to talk about his beliefs, and often did not know who to turn to. I also noticed that around his friends, he was careless, carefree, and reckless, and did whatever he pleased. But around me, he was insecure, honest, calm, and affected by his careless choices, as well as embarrassed by some. One day, he told me about his experience with God, and it seemed to me like he wanted to believe in God, or at least in something, and was maybe hoping I would help him change his mind about religion or about God. I knew it was only a matter of time, and hoped that I could help him reflect on his own, and find God when he was ready to. We eventually fell out of touch for personal reasons, and I still pray for him, knowing that I have done my surprise, and I found that by the end of the retreat, he has decided to identify as agnostic. I like to think it was the power of faith that he saw in the people he met on the retreat. Also, since everyone on the retreat was not at the same faith level, it was easier for him to connect with them and not feel overwhelmed. Little by little, I know he is opening up to the idea of God, and someday, when he is ready, he will open up to him, and I truly look forward to that day. And so I say again, faith in community is much more effective. My faith grows stronger in many ways